At isang napakahalagang pag-uusapan nito ngayon ay yung economic aspects ng tinatawag nga nila na TPP or yung sinasabi nilang Trans-Pacific Partnership na malaking-malaki ang impact nito sa ating ekonomiya. Dahil dito, meron tayong mahalagang guest dito ngayon sa ating studio. Nakakapanamin po ni Attorney Mark Castrodes. Attorney Mark Castrodes, who is our guest for this morning.
Maraming salamat, Attorney JJ and Mike. I am joined today to give us thoughts on the visit of President Obama. Napakatagal na po niya sa Pilipinas, 39 years. At 31 years ago, after working as a professional for corporations, he put up Wallace Business Forum. Ito po ay tumitingin sa mga kaganapan sa ating bansa, economically, politically, at ang epekto nito sa kabuuan ng ating ekonomiya at ng ating paglago bilang isang bansa. I'm joined by Mr. Peter Wallace. Good morning, sir.
Morning, Mark.
So, what do you think of this visit of President Obama? Is this going to help the economy of the Philippines?
You know, I think it will. Because one of the things that we have missed, I think, in the Philippines is recognition overseas. You know, Secretary Jimenez has done a great job on putting the Philippines back on the map on tourism, but we still haven't really done enough to get the awareness of businessmen.
You have been interviewed, and you have mentioned that the foreign direct investments have a lot of room for improvement.
Long way to go.
So you think FDIs could improve with this visit from the most powerful president of the world?
Well, I think very definitely, because that's one of the key things about something like this. It gets world attention, but very specifically, of course, American attention. You know, it was on CNN this morning. You know, I watch CNN and BBC every morning. Philippines hardly ever gets a mention. Today we were. And yesterday, and we will be tomorrow.
That's right.
And Americans are going to watch that, American businessmen.
But let's understand as well the geopolitics ramifications of this visit. The Philippines has a dispute with China over at the West Philippine Sea. There is going to be signed today a defense enhancement between the U.S. and the Philippines. Do you think this will have any effect in the relationship between the Philippines and China?
It possibly will, but don't forget that has similar arrangements with South Korea, Japan, and my home country, Australia.
That's right.
Right, and there are American soldiers based in Australia, and there are in Japan and in South Korea, and here. America has refocused its attention to Asia, recognizing that this is now one of the most dynamic areas in the world, if not the most dynamic, and that it needs to have not only a business presence, but also a security presence, a political presence. And I think this is very helpful. I think that China is growing dramatically well on the economic side.
That's
it's
right.
quite remarkable what it's achieved in the last 3 decades. And it's becoming a very powerful factor in the business sector in the world.
Can you help us understand, Mr. Wallace?
Yes. It's now beginning, just to finish the point, it's now beginning to realize that it can also be a political power.
That's right.
And the question is, what kind of political power will it be? And we're hoping that it will be one that's responsible, that recognizes that it must do so with caution, with respect for other countries.
Which leads me to my question about the ability of these states to compartmentalize disputes. You think the Philippines and China are able to compartmentalize the political dispute with the economic interests of both countries, and that America coming in to the aid of the Philippines, at least defense enhancement purposes, would not affect the business relationship of Philippines and China?
I don't think we can hope for that. I think on the world stage, the interaction of investment and trade between America and China, for example, is so huge, so wide, that you can't affect it, you can't risk it. But with the Philippines, it's small. So with the Philippines, China could have some if it really wanted to get nasty. I think it would be very foolish for it to do so. I think that it would not send a good message to the world of a responsible nation. And I don't expect it will do that. I think that it will keep, and I would certainly hope so, its political fight, if you like, over the disputed areas, from its investment and its trade.
Okay. You mentioned that the U.S. has a similar arrangement with Australia, South Korea, and Japan. The U.S. had bases here. Let's talk about the direct economic benefits of this increased rotational presence of the Americans. You think it will be a significant job creator? Will it be a creator of small support businesses that would be needed by these activities by the Americans?
Well, yes, it will, but it's a very small part of the Philippine economy. So, for example, where we have Americans stationed, let's say somewhere down in Mindanao, those soldiers are going to want to buy a Coke, a San Miguel, or something. That's going to stimulate the economy, but it's a small consumption economy. It's not going to be any major impact.
A key agreement in the defense enhancement that will be signed today is that the Americans should prioritize Filipino suppliers for some of the construction that they will be doing, for some of the replenishing of their supplies, with the pivot of the U.S. onto Asia, away from their traditional areas of focus. You think this will carry with it the American businesses that would put up shops here?
Oh, I think so, as long as it's competitive, right? Businessmen, unlike politicians, don't think nationality. They think cost, quality, value for money. And if Filipinos can provide the services and the products, then the Americans will buy them.
So that's Mr. Peter Wallace telling us that this will provide an international impact for us, because we have not been noticed, but with the President Obama coming to visit, this might get the Philippines noticed, as in fact we're already in news networks all over the world.